Hello, everybody. My name is meteorologist Hutch Johnson, and thank you for joining me. A storm system continues to pound the Gulf Coast states from Florida right now to earlier in the day out in Houston. We'll look at the radar. We'll look at the road conditions, unbelievable amounts of snow. We'll look at snowfall reports as well as a quick peek at the forecast in this focused update right here. Let's get started. Let's start with a look at that radar, and it's unbelievable when you look across the lower 48 and you see this. The main snow event taking place is in the southeastern United States. Notice it is still snowing in and around the New Orleans area, heading right through portions of the panhandle of Florida. Ice storm taking place in the Carolinas, and that snow is heading right through central parts of Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama at this hour as well. Snow reports from the Rocky Mountains of Colorado to down in Houston as well. We'll get to those snow reports in just a moment. Let's take you in a little closer. By the way, where you see the deeper blue shades, the dark blue shades, that's some heavier snow moving in on Tallahassee right now. Valdosta seeing a mix of snow and rain according to this radar display. By the way, a meteorological note. These radar displays use modeled data and temperatures of the atmosphere to estimate where the rain, snow, sleet line is. And we can also use some dual polarization radar data to kind of make this discernment. It can be off by a little bit, just to let you know. It might be showing rain in your area, but it could be flaking and flying. Now, very wet snow moving into Tallahassee, Bainbridge, as well as the Triton area, Bristol, seeing that. Look at Panama City, all the way into Port St. Joe, seeing it, as well as Pensacola, Florida, all snow there. Mobile, Alabama, and Biloxi, Mississippi. And if you can believe it or not, it is on the tail end of the snow system right now in New Orleans, and you will not believe how much snow has fallen. Take a look at the temperatures while we're here, folks, and these now temperatures will display a couple of things that we know a lot about here in the north. Broadcasting from the northern plains for the last 30 years, we know our cold weather, and in fact right now we're on a warming spell, and we think 10 degrees is warm today in Fargo, North Dakota, 39 in Tallahassee, ridiculous there. Let's take a look at inside as we zoom in on Panama City, Valdosta, seeing some cold air. How about mid-20s, folks? That's a hard freeze. If it stays in the 20s for more than about 3 hours, that can kill plants and vegetation outside, and it's going to take a toll, rather, on the deep south. Look at Mobile, Alabama down there as we continue to see temperatures that are very cold. Now, the warmth, not all the way down in toward Tampa. It's only 55 in Tampa right now. Ocala seeing temperatures that are in the 30s, 43 rather, and just to the north in Gainesville, 39 degrees. Jacksonville at 37. So unbelievable cold. Now, in the northern plains, we have something you kind of giggle at, and it's called wind chill. Now, when you're standing outside and the air temperature is near 30 and the wind is blowing, it's taking heat away from your skin at a rapid pace. So it feels colder. Let's check out those feels like temperatures right now, shall we? Here's a look at those wind chills. 12. The wind chill right now in southern parts of Alabama. As we zoom in, that's Dothan. As we look at Tallahassee, 26 is what it feels like on exposed skin outside. Bundle up, folks. Check on your neighbors. If you do happen to lose electricity during these storms, do not try open burning in your house to stay warm. You can open the cupboards where the drain pipes are and the water pipes are, and just basically do your best to keep those pipes warm. Do not start fires inside the house. You can trickle your water if you lose electricity by turning it on ever so slowly in both the cold and the water, just to let it drip, 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 drip. Moving water freezes more slowly than stagnant water in a cold pipe. That's a couple of hints from the northern plains. Now, let's take a look at this storm system once again. You've looked at that. Let's take a look at those wind gusts right now across the region. We don't have gusts everywhere, but they are coming in from the northwest, and they're blooming in here at about 20 to 30 miles per hour, and that's what's causing those wind chills that you just saw. Again, the radar showing snow all the way from Louisiana heading right into the ATL Atlanta at this particular time. Now let's take a look at what this looks like to our eyes. Earlier in the day, this nonsense hit. Chris, good to have you on. Thanks for watching. How does Florida look for the beginning of February? We'll take a look at that for you. If you hold on tight just a minute, I'll get to this forecast section in this focused update. I will not be on here talking and waxing forever. We're going to talk about the facts. And the next facts I want to talk about is roads. Unbelievable road conditions across the region. Let me see if I can pull this up appropriately here to show you what we got going on. I got to get the right screen here for this. Okay, let's go here. And let's go here. And let's go here. Let's see. I think that's the wrong one. So I apologize. I haven't used this page in just a little while. So there we go. This is the right one. Okay, so let's go here. And let's go here. Thank you for your patience as I'm just pulling this up right now. And let's go to, yes. And this is from Texas. Let's take a look at that. Okay. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you're looking at. Here is a look at the area in and around Houston, Deer Park, Burnett Bay, as you look through towards Baytown. Take a look at the snowfall on a couple of these cameras. Now, as we do so, what you're going to notice is we got snow standing on the side of the roads in parts of Texas still after snowing earlier in the day. It is cold, folks, out there. It's impacting some travel and some traffic across the area as we take a look at a few of these DOT cameras in and around that Houston Metroplex as we take a look at the metro area here. So again, inner circle part of Houston, way into the downtown area, and you can still see evidence of snow and wet roads, but definitely snow. Now, these folks don't practice in driving in snow all the time, so it's very, very tricky travel going on there in the heart of Texas. Now, let's take a look at what we have going on elsewhere, and to do that, let's pull up another camera here, shall we? Pardon me while I pull up the next one. So that was a look at Texas. Let's go next to Louisiana. So let's see what we got here. Here's Louisiana. And now, as we take a look at this, what you're going to notice, this Lake Pontchartrain here, as you go down south into the city center, things are pretty ugly. And in fact, it's still snowing in some of these areas. So let's go down here right on the shores of Lake Pontchartrain and look at this. Snow on the elevated road surfaces of bridges and overpasses there right in the New Orleans area at this particular time. As we zoom out just a bit and get a little bit farther to the east, the system is moving east out towards Biloxi where they have some, but let's go towards Slidell, and you can see right here over the coast that we got snow on the big bridges going over Lake Pontchartrain. So that's what's going on there. Now let's take a look at the next item up for bids, and that'll be the next state. Let's see. I think I've got Florida here. If you hold tight now, Florida, this is what we're seeing in your particular neck of the woods. Let's see if I can pull this up and action. Okay, sorry for the delay. Here we go. All right, now you're looking in on Florida. As we zoom out, you can get a feel for exactly where we're in the panhandle here. Let's go to Pensacola. In Pensacola, Florida right now, as we take a look at some of these cameras, it's getting dark out there, but as you get to, this is right next to the shore, folks, out here, not far from the Midway area, Pensacola Bay, and you are seeing significant amounts of snow right there in the, right along the coast of the Gulf of Mexico. So some significant snowfall taking place there. How far east does this go? We can go out towards a little bit farther in view. Let's go out here towards the Panama Beach area and check that out. Here you go. That looks like North Dakota, if you ask me. Some serious wintertime travel conditions out there in parts of Florida. Now, as we take a look elsewhere, zooming out just a little bit, we're going to push this all the way out towards Madison. Let's go let's push the limits here and let's go into Tallahassee. Okay, so as you go into Tallahassee, it's, well, that one there is, so it looks like it was a little old. Not as much snow on the road surfaces there in Tallahassee at this particular time, so that's a good sign there. And that's about the cutoff. If you go just a little bit farther to the north, though, we're seeing that snow pushing all the way up into the area of Atlanta at this time. Now in South Carolina, we got some icing showing up on the radar. There's some tricky travel there. Remember to check and know the roads before you go if you're traveling in these areas. Very tricky travel conditions there. That's a check on that. Now let's take a look at some snow reports across the nation. Hutch is looking for a snowflake here. That's a sign that I'm on the right page, so let me go get it. Okay. All right, so here's a look at the National Weather Service's forecast offices. When you go ahead and report your snowfall amounts across the nation, it shows up on this map. So this is why your reports are so huge. This is not North Dakota roads now. This is a look at what's going on elsewhere. I'm going to turn that label off the top there, and we'll just go ahead and worry about what's on the map. So as we take a look at your snowfall reports, I'm going to go down to the deep south first, then we'll check out some of the lake effect snow going on in the northeast, and then we'll get to that forecast that you just asked about. So thanks again for your patience as we go through the motions here. A.A. Dolan, thank you for watching. Crazy indeed is the terminology I would use for it, because this is the kind of weather we normally see here. Now, tabulated behind my head, because we're looking at the whole nation, you can see the biggest winner in the last 24 hours of snow, Rodman, New York. That's 48 inches of snow. 48 inches. How many feet is that? Oh my goodness. That's 4 feet of snow. Henderson, New York, 35 inches of snow. Zooming in on the deep south, though. Look at this. Now, reports in the Houston area. Here are some snowfall reports. You can read the digits. 2.8 as you go down south a little bit farther down here towards the Gulf Coast and Galveston Bay. You can see that we have generally around 3 to 6 inches of snow. Get into the heart of the city here, and we got reports in there of 4 inches of snow right in downtown Houston as we went through the start of the day. Now, this winter weather event made its way towards New Orleans. It's just now exiting. Are you not kidding me? 10.5 inches of snow reported right here on this dot, and that's in rain. 5 miles north of there, 10.5 inches of flaky material. Now, you go in a little closer, you're going to see a 10.5 inches. Lafayette, Louisiana, reporting that for today. That's huge snow. Wet, heavy snow, no fun to move. Yes, it will warm up, but unbelievable snow day for the kids down in the deep south. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, reporting 1.5 inches of snow. Hattiesburg out in Mississippi reporting 1.5 inches of snow in Dixie. And then as we sneak out towards Mobile, we have 7 inches of snow out here, just off on the eastern sides here by Malbus, Alabama. And then as we look off to the south of that, yet south, I said, closer to the Gulf, and check it out, 8 inches at Clay City, Alabama. Unbelievable snowfall amounts there. You get right here, right in the bay, and you're looking here off this breakwaters, and you can see in about 6 inches of snow. Oriole Beach, Florida. Holy cow, that's a lot of snow. Then you get into Tallahassee, things just getting started there. We just showed you the camera. It's wet, but there is some white heading away. As you go up here to the north into Tuscaloosa and Alabama, no reports in Birmingham, but as you get down here to Montgomery, a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of flaky material there in the deep south. Atlanta, the ATL, seeing 1.3 inches on the outskirts of town. That's Covington, Georgia. Peachtree out here near Fayetteville, Georgia, seeing about 1 inch of snow, and things just rocking their way up into the South Carolina area where we've got a couple tenths of an inch of snow. How about we go to the ice report, shall we? Let's see if I can find out where I can make that switch. I'll have to do that right here. Let's take a look at the ice reports, and then we'll look at that forecast right quick. So as we take a look at the ice reports earlier in the day, you can see down in the deep south of Texas, we did get some 1/4 inch reports to 1/2 inch reports way down south out there. So there is some icing. Some of the icing has not yet been reported, so keep that in mind. Back to the snowfall reports, because I did say I go up to upstate New York, and I do not want to forget about Chicago, Detroit, Erie, Pennsylvania. If you zoom in on the Erie, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, and points south, we're seeing here 14 to 16 inches of snow in and around and south of Buffalo from lake effect snow. Here's a look in up north just a little bit near Watertown. Here's where you got the 30 inches to 48 inches of snow flaky goodness in Rodman, New York. That's what took place there. Down a little farther down into Erie, we got about 2/10 of an inch near Cleveland. Erie picking up 4 inches. So 2 to 4 inches from Erie on into the area down near Akron, Ohio. Now, as you look in that, there has been lake effect snow on the western side of the mitten of Michigan. 8 1/2 inches of snow reported in Allendale out there just to the west of Grand Rapids and right on the shores of the Big Lake. How about Fruitport out there with 8.4 inches of flaky goodness there. Now, we did see some highland snow in the high country, elevated terrain. Colorado picking up 9 inches at Wetmore, and we did get about 2 to 4 inches of reported snow from Unit, Oklahoma, to Dodge City, Kansas, and that's a look at that. New Mexico getting in on the game there. How about Tres Rios with 4 inches of flaky material? So now let's take a look at your forecast, shall we? Okay, when we're talking forecast, we're going to go to a national map, so there may be some blockage here of some of the stuff. I'll move out of the way for you in just a minute. What we're going to look at is where this storm is going in the next 24 hours. Here's a USA view. This is a high-resolution model that updates every hour. Heavier bands of snow shown in dark blue. This peach color and the purple color, that's either sleet or freezing rain in those areas of the panhandle of Florida now, all the way into coastal parts of the Carolinas, as well as Georgia. So as we take a look at this animation of where the snow is going to be heading, you're going to notice some good news here as I put this into motion. Here's the heaviest band of snow. As we move this forward in time, the time here is 6 hours. You subtract 6 hours from this digit to get the central time zone time. So I know we're dealing mainly with East Coast time here, and that would be subtracting 5 hours from these times. So as we go towards daybreak, now this is about 10 o'clock at night, and you're going to see ice moving through northern parts of Florida. You're going to see that ice making its way into southern Georgia, and coastal parts of the Carolinas as well. The snow will expand rapidly northward, but will mainly be off the coast. There is a chance for a couple of flakes near Long Island, a couple of flakes on southern New New Jersey. But most of this is going to impact places like Virginia, maybe Maryland as well, briefly. No significant accumulation for those areas. As we take a look here, you got the ice conditions continuing. Now we're getting close to daybreak, and as you go into 12 minus 5, that's 7 a.m. 7 a.m., this thing is off the shore with another weather wiggle coming out from the northern part of the country here. Another slap of cold air diving out of North Dakota. Blame us, North Dakotans, for this. Heading down to the deep south and really going to fire up some of that lake effect snow machine once again up north. Here's a quick look at that. That's a look at the snow that we were talking about. So I hope that answers your question. Thanks for asking, Chris. I'll be in Orlando area and looking for the beginning of February. So let's go there. But to do that, Hutch is going to pull out of his pocket the longer range model. The longer range model will get us out about to the time frame you're looking for, Chris. But I do got to say, if you're vacationing in Florida, the coldest of the weather is going to go through now. Now, as we close out the month, watch the date here. You get into the 24th, 25th, 26th. Here comes another system working its way through the south. The southern Colorado low moves out with some rain. The red lines here mean warmer weather, so the warmer weather does return. You're at the 29th of January, and here comes another cold system for the northeastern United States. Florida remains unsettled. With this cold air settling here, a lot of storms will track through the deep south, the Gulf Coast states, and through the southeastern United States, and it does look to be unsettled as we head into the early part of February. Chris, that's the answer to your question there. Beginning of February 1st, right here, showers and thunderstorms will be possible. A rapid fire pattern to weather systems making their way through. But this is wet, not white, and that's what you need to know. It's warmer, not colder. That's another thing. And if you're wondering about temperatures this far out, a lot can change on this. So please take this with a big old grain of salt, about the size of a horse hoof, as you go out through the time frame here. Heading into the first of the month, the warmest weather looks to be in southern parts of South Carolina and Georgia. Up to the north, though, only some 40s up there. Most of Florida looking like 60s and 70s, except for the deep south down there near the Keys, where you could still see some 80s. All right, David, good to have you on board. Thanks for asking all of the questions. If you have a question, drop it here. My name is Hutch Johnson. I'm a meteorologist up in the Northern Plains, and I've been a broadcaster for the better part of 30 years, taught meteorology in the college classroom for the better part of 20 years, did some research meteorology early in the career, and I love talking weather. If you have a question, drop it here. I love to give you the real scoop and let you know a little bit of behind the scenes information with regards to what kind of weather is going on. Ice reports going on out near Savannah, Georgia, and points north into South Carolina. I'll take you back in and we'll look at those real quick as we wrap this broadcast up here. Charleston, we're getting reports there of railings outside, ice accretion taking place downtown in Charleston. I'm not seeing any amounts yet, so it's just starting. So very slippery conditions as we go into the nighttime hours with freezing rain from a National Weather Service employee reported down here in North Mount Pleasant as we head into the later evening hours. Snow taking place all the way back into the Biloxi, Mississippi and New Orleans, Louisiana area, and it's been piling up to the tune of 6 to 10 inches of snow in the deep south. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Travel safe in the south. Remember, do not do open burning inside your house. Find other ways to provide heat. And another thing you can do is go to an interior room, shut the doors, and put the family in there with the sleeping bags, and everybody's body heat can help keep things a little warmer in that one room, and you can weather the storm. We do have a whole host of watches, warnings, and many of those are for some extremely cold air heading your way into the deep south. Here's a look at the national picture. And what you're going to notice with this particular thing here, the blue colors, that is some cold air making its way all the way through the eastern half of the United States. This is a cold weather advisory for most of the eastern U.S. Get down into the deep south. The blue is an extreme cold warning. This is extreme cold, unlike what you are used to in these parts of the country. And the temperature changes in these areas are substantial and huge compared to what you're usually used to. In fact, I'm still talking at will here. Let's go ahead and load up the change in temperature in your area across this part of the country, and it is unbelievable as you take a look at the big changes going on here. As you go into Biloxi and New Orleans, as we take a look at what these blue colors are, colder than it was yesterday at this time. And as we take a look at some of these digits, 15 degrees colder than yesterday at this time in New Orleans. It's 12 degrees cooler in Biloxi than it was yesterday. And Macon, Georgia, about 5 degrees degrees cooler than it was yesterday at this time. Panama City, 10 to 12 degrees cooler, with Brent out here in the Panhandle area about 13 degrees colder than yesterday at this time. Big time warm up taking place up here in Hutch's Homeville out near the North Dakota area, where the temperatures have warmed up over yesterday's highs that were about 20 below zero. For the high temperature yesterday, it's now 40 degrees warmer than yesterday at this time in the oil patch of Williston, North Dakota. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate the follows and subscriptions on my social accounts. If you are watching on YouTube, please slam that subscribe button. I do appreciate you very much. Drop a comment, and we'll talk again down the road.